What's going on, super friends? Today we're going to be having a look at the DC Comics Multiverse Justice League Batmobile. Boy, is this thing a whole lot bigger than I thought it was going to be when I saw the pictures online. I really do try not to look at other people's reviews of products as much as possible so that I can get the taste of that product myself when I first see it. And this thing is huge. Now, I know that this is actually smaller than the Ultimate Edition, the RC one. That being said, that thing must be really big because this thing is massive. I'm so excited to have it. Please join with me as we open it up and take a closer look at it. I think it's really cool that they actually matched the action figure packaging, so it's exactly the same. You can see this on the store shelf and you know exactly what it is and who it's made by and what it's meant to go with. So on the back of the packaging here, you have a promotional image of the Batmobile, you have the Justice League figures right here, and then you actually have writing. Translucent windshield, rotating weaponry, rolling wheels, metal axles, that would kind of be a given, I would think. Pivoting front wheels and pivoting bumper plates. So this thing does have a few little action features. However, you're not going to want to give this to people under 3 years old because little kids throttle the crap out of stuff, and you wouldn't want to give them a $100 Batmobile just for it to get slammed and driven into the wall. Unless, of course, you're really rich and $100 is pocket change, but for me, it's not. And just a quick look at the side of the box as well before I open it up, and also at the other side here. Okay, so it's out of the box, and this thing is every bit as huge and imposing as it looks when it's in the package. This thing is really quite big. I'm going to do a figure comparison and a comparison also with the previous Batmobile released for the children's action figure line for Dawn of Justice, but for now, let's just take a closer look at the Batmobile itself. If we look at some of the features here, you can see that the gun on top of the Batmobile, it's not just stationary, but it can actually move around a little bit, and that makes it kind of neater for action figure photography. And the same thing with the missile launcher on the front. That's not just stationary, but that moves around as well, which is kind of cool. And then you have the flaps on the front. Those flaps are on hinges, and they can actually go up and down, which is another kind of neat feature. Now, the little Gatling guns to either side of the Batmobile, they also move left to right, so there's so much you can do with this Batmobile as far as posability. You can have all of his guns and missiles aiming in one place. Some of the small paint apps on this Batmobile are really kind of neat too. The no step, you have the little orange tips for the missiles. As for the front wheels on the front of the car actually can move left to right. They're not tied to any kind of steering wheel, but it's still, you can pose them at left or right. And if you're into action figure photography, it's kind of neat to have that option where you can make the vehicle look a little bit more realistic and lifelike and believable. Now, just popping open the cockpit and having a little look-a-roo on the inside, we can see that there's more than enough room for you to fit your Multiverse Batman figure down on the inside there, and you can close the lid, and he just fits right snug in there. And that's cool because we don't get very many Batmobiles in the 6-inch scale, let alone that you can put a figure on the inside of. So this is going to be something that even if you weren't a huge fan of the movie, you may want to pick up this Batmobile just so that you have a 6-inch scale Batmobile to fit your other 6-inch scale Batman figures into. Now, looking at the wheels on the Batmobile, I want to take just a moment to actually examine them. The cool thing here is that the wheels are actually all the way around. They actually look the part all the way around, which is really cool. Even on the underside of this Batmobile, they included detail work. Now here for that size and scale comparison, we have the Multiverse Batmobile, and then we also have the kid-friendly 6-inch scale Batmobile. These are both dubbed as 6-inch scale Batmobiles. However, this was made for the childhood line, the figures that had a whole lot less articulation. And listen, for a kid's Batmobile, this is pretty sweet. However, it's really, really small, and you could never fit your Multiverse figures into this Batmobile comfortably without it making Batman look like the Batmobile was nothing more than a glorified go-kart. Okay, so now for size scale comparison, I've got a Multiverse Batman here, and he's the perfect size for this Batmobile. If you think back to the pictures that we saw of Batman standing next to the Batmobile, he was standing near the back tire, and that's roughly about the size here. So this is actually the right scale. Hate to say it though, even though I know that this is a Multiverse Batmobile, if I had to pick one Batman to display it with, it would actually be with the SH Figuarts version of Batman, because this is my favorite version in 6-inch scale of Batman. And yes, him being a slightly smaller figure, he fits even better into the Batmobile than the originally intended Multiverse Batman. Seriously, super friends, my final verdict here is that if you've been looking for a 6-inch scale Batmobile and you've never quite found one that is exactly what you're looking for, this one might be the one for you. Whether you are a fan of the Mattel Multiverse action figure Justice League line or not, this one is so good that even if you're not into those figures, it's still going to be the best 6-inch scale Batmobile that we've gotten to date. Feature-wise, size-wise, and display-wise. That's just my opinion. I mean, I love the 66 classic TV show Batmobile from Mattel, but we really don't have a lot of options when it comes to 6-inch scale Batmobiles. And this one stands out as probably one of the best Batman Mattel offerings in a long time. Anyhow, folks, that's all the time I have today to make this video, so thank you so much for taking the time to swing by my little corner of YouTube and have a peek at what I've been doing. It means a lot to me. If you like this video, please take the time to leave a like on it. Leave any comments you have down in the comment section below, because I read absolutely every comment. Even though I can't always get back to them, I do read absolutely every comment, so leave a comment down below if you have anything to say. And if you think you might want to see more from my channel show up in your inbox, well, just tickle the subscribe button and then ding the bell, because it doesn't have cooties. And I'll see you next time with the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Have a super day.